Barefoot Bruisers. What's happening, guys? So it's gonna be a short one this week. Basically, I mentioned to y'all last week that Scotch and Things and Kevin were coming, and Steve and Kevin were coming into town. So they typically do. I think this is their fourth year, and this is the third year of me meeting up with them. Where I ride up, usually it usually be just a turn and burn. Like I ride up or drive up, I guess I should say, most of the time. Maybe eat dinner with them, hang out with them at the hotel for 30 minutes, and then it's a right back around. So 2-3 hour hangout though. Well, this time we planned it a little better. Although those guys get here early, super early, and I didn't leave till they were already here. So Steve had to wait around for me a little bit, but I got to hang out with Steve, shoot the shit, hang out a good time, and then we decided to go out and hang out with Don at D&K Knives. And like, I've never met him in person before. I've talked to him quite a few times. Same with Steve. And Don had just moved the store, so we'd gotten a Uber or whatever, and went to the shop. We hung out for Don for like 3 hours, man. It's super cool, dude. His new shop's gonna be cool as hell. But he was literally just setting up when we got there, so I don't know that he wasn't expecting any guests or anything like that. But Don, if you watch this, man, appreciate you hosting, dude. It was awesome. I had a good time. And of course, while I was there, we didn't. Neither one of us bought nice, believe it or not. Like I was tempted. And I might have slightly found a problem with one or two of them. I don't know. We was playing with a Spider Cuts towards the end, and I was flicking a native chief, and then all of a sudden it got gritty. I don't know what happened, but like it almost quit working. He's like, "Ooh," I was like, "I'll buy it if I need to." He's like, "Nah, it's all good, dude." But anyway, we went there to support Don, and Don was more than cool, but didn't buy any knives, but we did do some. Well, let me tell you the pen first. So I got into pens for somehow. Like a couple of you guys have sent me some pens. They're really cool pens, and then there's another pen company that I can't think of what they were. They were American made. They used to do a bunch of funky designs. Release one about once a month. I'm having a hard time remembering the name of them, but I've got 4 or 5 of those. So, and I use a pen more often than a knife, to be honest with you. I just do. So I kind of get into the pen thing. I'm not into it like I geek out on it, but I like having cool pens. And while we're there, the main thing that I wanted to have is American made, and like I'm there, that's the main thing that I wanted. I didn't want to buy like there was a Microtech that was the gold, so the Chinese Microtech. Y'all know more probably about that than I do. But anyway, I found a Heretic, and y'all know I usually wear that. Where's that ball cap at? Yeah. I wear that all the time. I've never owned anything from them. So I was like, you know what? It just kind of makes sense. I might as well buy at least a pen, at least. So I got this one. What does it say? DLC. A DLC with a copper barrel Thoth. I think that's what Don called it, a Thoth. So I'm not going to get into pens, but I think it's cool. Just a little bolt action pen. And I guess if you want to, you can take the center section out, and there's like a little cap on the infill or refill or whatever. And then this black will screw into this black. So it's a shorty if you want a shorty, but big bets, shorty ain't doing me no good. But I thought it was a cool little pen. It's got a little weight to it. It kind of looks cool. Like, I don't know, something different for I'm not going to say a pen collection, but a pen user. But that's what may end up on the motorcycle, just to have a pen on the motorcycle. I don't know. Just doing stuff. You know how we do. So this one I'm going to need help, Evan, because Evan's my light guru, or at least the dude that I know that knows the most about lights. Some of you might too, but I don't know anything about them. So once again, my criteria was American made. And I told Don this, I want American made. I want the small man. We want to be able to support the small guy. So you guys in the lights might know. I don't know, but Dawson Machine. And I think I've heard the name before, but I'm not into lights. And like Don was talking about how I could program, and I was like, I want on off. That's what I want. He's like, well, it ain't that simple, but you can make it like low, medium, high, whatever, Anyhow, I don't know nothing about it. So yeah, let me just do this. That's what's in there. So I don't know what any of that pretty much means, what any of that, the driver or whatever. All I know is that this titanium is American made, and it looks like this. I thought it was pretty cool. So what do you call it? Castellated kind of cap on it, which is just more or less like, if you look like half jumps, if you call it like knife stuff, like half jumps across the front. But it's got a good weight to it. And it's pretty decent size. It's not like a huge size or nothing like that. And just pretty cool little light. I hope it'll take an impact, because everything I have I end up dropping. So I'm just a heathen that way. It is what it is. But the dorky part about this, and it wasn't really planned, but it kind of did happen. So Steve usually buys a vacation knife. I'm not say usually, but he does often buy a vacation knife. But we bought vacation lights. And he got a matchy match. He got the same light, other than his is a 3 emitter instead of a 1 emitter. So it was like a couple bucks more, maybe like $50 more or something like that. But Don wouldn't let us pay retail on these things. He hooked us up. So thanks again, Don. Appreciate you, man. And I'm sure it ain't the first or the only thing that I'm ever going to repurchase from D&K, but you know, worth checking out his site. Yeah, it does have a lot more inventory than I thought. Like, the store is pretty cool, so I'll definitely go back there. And I wanted to do like a video kind of thing. I think Satisfaction Matty went there and with his whole family and did like a video of the store and stuff. But the store's moved. He wasn't all set up yet, so I'll probably go back up there and do something like that. I'm, you know, we'll see what happens in the future. As far as like the week, so my next reblade, so I started off with the Tier XL, like, and this one does have some issues, but you know, for a beater for around here, I'm fine with this thing. So I was gonna reblade this one and redo this. I may still eventually, but for the foreseeable future, I can learn more about doing other projects. So that's what I'm intending on doing. So kind of instead of a second swing at this one, I decided to go with this other little tier, which y'all may or may not recognize. So this one I had for a long time, but I'm just gonna show you the frame part of it because the blade ain't gonna make no difference to you. But it's a different style. It's the first tier that I got. Is actually the Scotch and things that used to have a Damascus blade in it, but the blade got screwed up. But the end of this is different than the other tiers. The other tiers have that little square off blocky section. So this is more of a longer. So I have a choice in doing this, and to explain my reblade method. I don't design a knife and then go build the knife. I machine the holes in it where the stop pin is supposed to be and where the pivot's supposed to be, and then I figure it out from there. That's just how I've been doing it. And like, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, right? All right, so as I was saying, the frame is kind of pointing there, so you got to think of something that's going to go in that frame. And I'm just gonna hold this on the outside. This is my first attempt. Okay, I got this one done and I was like, I don't like the way it looks, so I just started over. Basically, that's what I'm gonna do. Let me get this pin real quick. One sec. Yeah, I'm old. Oh yeah, and by the way, so God damn it, I just dropped it again. I rode, you know, 100 and almost 50 miles this morning before I got back here. It was like 40 something degrees for Arizona, boys. That's cold, man. Riding that far, that long, it's cold, man. Like, it wasn't my favorite thing to do, but you know, definitely worth going to see my bros. Okay, so as I was describing, or trying to describe to you guys, and I'm an idiot here, the frame swoops up this way. So you have to have a blade that's covering all this. And on the inside, they mount these little standoffs, so they're actually protruding further up into that. So I got to think of something. So this is the first blade I made. Now, basically, I always start with this side first. You can see, so where let's see, where's that stop pin in? I got to do it the other way around. Let's see if I can do it the other way around so y'all can see. 1 second, so I can explain myself without feeling like too much of an idiot. Doing this with up close with y'all on camera, y'all can see how bad my eyes are. Anywho, let's do it this way. So it's on the opposite side of the frame was what it's supposed to be, but more or less you can kind of see as it's sitting there. Like, I was thinking I could get around this by, it has in the middle of those standoffs, it's got that little indentation in the center. You all know if you have hinders or anything else, right? So I was thinking maybe I can sneak the tip in there, but you can see I got it as far as I can get it. Let's see if we get this way. Yeah, as far as I can get it to the edge of the frame. It may have to come back this way a little bit on this one. But like I said, this is the first attempt, and I didn't like the way the blade looked. So that was it closed. So I got as much blade as I could in there. Now, obviously, you can see I have way more belly that I could have extended it down and made it look differently. And I don't know why, but when I was grinding it, it didn't look good to me the way it was like that. So I'm just going to extend it out so you can kind of sort of see, and I'll flip it around. So you kind of sort of see how this one would have looked. Oh, about to drop everything. Butterfingers this morning. So you can see how that one kind of looked. Let me get my hands out of the way. And I just didn't like, I don't know, it didn't flow to me. So the next one I made, which is in the foil already. Where's the foil at? Yeah, here it is. Because the heat treat oven is prepping right now. I'm going to heat treat it. It is really, really funky. Like, really funky. Like, y'all going to be like, what the hell is Dave doing? Like, I don't know. But I'm having fun with it. And I'm trying something different. So on this particular one, I reamed this hole to the actual size of the pivot. But as I was thinking about it, I was like, and as I was going over the flaws with this one, like this is over a few week process, but I don't remember when I did what, so I can't tell you when. In reviewing this one, there's some things about this one that I'm like, the pivot is not as tight as I think it should be. Like, I always want to find the area where the fit is too close, like the tolerances are too tight, and then back off from there. Like, so if I get it where it's 5/10 clearance. And I'm like, it's just a little too tight right there. I should back off that. I want to find that and figure out what that is. So what I did this time was undersize the hole. It's reamed, but it's undersized. I think I did 5 thou undersized. So I'm gonna heat treat it, and then I'm gonna ream it to actual size after the heat treat, which normally when you ream hardened parts like that, and it's only taking 2.5 thou per side. I know I'm getting way in the weeds for you. But it usually makes it undersized because it's a hardened part. Like it usually doesn't cut oversized, it's undersized. And I think the pivots I'm using are like 249.5 or something like that. So they're a 1/2 thou undersized too. So we'll see what happens. This is an experiment. So anyway, we got another one of those about to start cooking. But yeah, I think 10 minutes, we'll call it there. That's the quick synopsis of what's going on. Obviously, I got to get the heat gun back out. Where is that freaking thing at? Wherever that temperature gun is. And I got to set the other oven up, get it to temperature, make sure it's at temperature before I do all that. So I don't screw up the heat treat again. I'm going to try to cut this video short, post it up for y'all. It was awesome hanging out with Steve and Kevin. Mostly Steve this time. Kevin kind of came at the end. Like this time they come with a crew of 4. There's 5 of them. There's 5 of them. So 4 of them went to the Barrett Jackson and then kind of met us up for dinner and that sort of thing. So I didn't get to see those guys all that long, but I hung out with Steve like the majority of the day. So good 8-9 hours hanging out with Steve, which is more than cool. Like it's almost double what we've had in the past. So like it was awesome. So anyway, cut the video short. Y'all be cool. See you next week. Later, y'all.